I also want to talk about Harley Quinn, one of your favorite characters, is she not?
Dude, she is my favorite female comic book character. I've just loved her ever since the animated series. She's quirky, she's badass, she's fun, she's evil, she's good. Great character.
Back when we first met, I remember you mentioning that you were hunting for some comic books, specifically ones from this run. And man, that list that you gave me first, it didn't have Turok on it. It didn't have like Mr. Freeze appearances on it. No, it was all about Harley Quinn. You wanted those first appearances.
Dude, for sure. Yeah, it's because what's cool about her is she was introduced in Batman the animated series, right? So then her first appearance was in the spin-off book that's tied into the cartoon series. So, I had, as you know, I had the first Batman Adventures 12. I had that a long time ago. My original copy I actually bought off a freaking end cap at a Walgreens in like 93, 94, right?
Sure.
So, but a few years ago, I was forced to sell it because I had unexpected bills, and at the end of the day, I had to adult and get like my $300 or whatever for it to pay off some bills that I needed to get paid. But because of that, I was hunting it down. And then when we first met, I was like, "Oh, dude, Comic Tom, you're the guy." You were like, "Dude, this is what I do. I hunt down books," and you were able to hunt one down for me. And I have never been more appreciative to someone, especially for like something like geeky like that. It's hanging in the background right now. But because of that, that kind of sparked something for me. It's like I got the first appearance back. Now I want her third appearance. I want her fourth. You know how collecting is. It's like a rabbit hole. So now I want like all her cool like key cover appearances, fourth, third appearances, and now I'm in a rabbit hole of Harley Quinn and Batman the animated series.
That's my goal, man. My goal is to get you deep into that black hole, Neil deGrasse Tyson style, down that spiral. And you know what? We're talking about a character that debuted in Batman Adventures issue 12 at 9.8. It goes for a solid $1,500, and it's a very strong key. But my first thing that I had to do was find out, well, which first appearance do you want, right? Because some people, if it's an animated adaptation in comics, it doesn't really count. Are we going to look at the Alex Ross, or are we looking at the animated series? And you wanted both. You're like, oh, I'm digging both. And I saw the potential there because you're like, you saw both for their key worthiness. You didn't X one over the other. So that then got me on this path to find these real first appearances, ones that predate her, debut in comics, maybe advertisements, see if we can go a little bit deeper. And at first you were like, I don't really know, but we had to get you there. Now, I have a comic here that has nothing to do with this conversation, Arris, but I wanted to show it to you because I think it started this process, and I think it's a great example. It's a copy of Ninjak, issue number 19.
I already know where this is going.
You know where this is going. Now
I know where this is going.
This is a Valiant comic book. Arris loves
Right.
Ninjak. Die hard. You have this tattoo, do you not? You have a Ninjak tattoo, I believe.
On my
I think you
right
told
butt
me
cheek,
that.
bro.
I get it, but you know what? I don't judge. I don't judge what tattoos you're gonna get. I have
No,
plastic
Ninjak
hand
is an
tattooed.
awesome character.
No, he is awesome. You know what? And Valiant's dope. But you know what? It's not about this dope character. It's about the inside of this book. This is you.
That is indeed me.
Is this not your first appearance?
I mean, yes, that is my first comic book appearance. Yes, it is.
I think this is great, man. It says your channel for all things geekdom. Every episodes every Wednesday and Saturday. How you doing on that quote?
Well, since then, we are on a new schedule. We're actually doing 3 a week, and it's supposed to be Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. But we're in flux right now because the world is on pause, as we all know.
Right. Well, dude, I had to get me a copy of my homie's first appearance in comic books, but this is something that's fun because this is a comic that means something to me. It's my friend in a comic, but this is a first appearance, and that got me thinking about other first appearances, specifically Harley Quinn, which we have hunted together and acquired for your collection, and I figure we should do an all-encompassing video of how far we've been able to go.
Dude, let's do it.
So starting out, I think we should do it in 1993. We should kick this off in 1993 because we know that that's the year that Batman Adventures 12 came out.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of this year, in December, we would have the first movie, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So that right there marks something notable in Harley Quinn key-worthiness comics, and it happened in the toy that was released alongside the movie.
It did indeed.
It was in an action figure, and you got one.
I do right here. You actually were kind enough to hunt it down and send it to me. Boom. Right here. There it is, sealed in package. And behind the Mask of the Phantasm book is the coloring book you were talking about, which I also have because of you right here loose. So, and as you guys see, it fits in a modern bag and board. So it's basically, or is the size of a modern comic book.
On the inside of this coloring book, there is a Harley Quinn pinup ready for being colored. And you know what? If you're lucky enough to find one, I mean, preferably without coloring on the inside, you may have what many consider to be the second appearance of Harley Quinn, because this, again, is dated in December. It says it on the toy itself, you know, that it came out in December to coincide with the movie. But prior to the release of this coloring book was Batman Adventures 12 in September. So this is the second published Harley Quinn anything. Now, you can find some on eBay that will say that this is the second appearance, but many actually look to later comics in this run as her second appearance. So, you know, Comic Fam, we want to hear what you think in the comment section below, but not before we go backwards in time, because it doesn't just stop at Batman Adventures 12 in September. Arris, let's chat with them about Batman Almost Got Him.
Dude, Batman Almost Got Him. So that comic is, well, it's comic book format. That book is awesome. So basically, it's roughly, you know, the width of a comic book, but it's short, right? It's like half a comic book tall. And I believe, if memory serves me correctly, it came with a cassette tape back in the day. But in there is a page with Harley Quinn inside the book, which, because of the date on it, people are like, well, is this the real first appearance of Harley Quinn? And it's kind of one of those things that's up for debate in the comic book community.
That's right. It adapts the Almost Got Him episode. And at the time when this character was being debuted in the animated series, they wanted to have someone pop through the cake. You know, this is a Joker story. There's a lot of happenings. There's a lot of villains hanging out. And rather than having Joker pop through the cake, they thought like, Joker wouldn't do that. Let's have a new character do it.
Right.
So they created Harley Quinn.
Dude.
And you know what? People loved her and they had to bring her back.
For sure, dude. I mean, you know, I think it's an understatement to say that she is an A-lister right now. You know what I mean? She's, you know, almost surpassed even A-listers like Catwoman and Batgirl in a lot of senses, right? And she's came out way after them. So it was definitely a win for DC.
Dude, I got the tape.
You got the tape?
Yeah, I was able to hunt one down on eBay. Someone listed an open but complete set of the book, the box, and the tape inside. I just have to get a cassette player.
Dude, what? And you're telling this to me now for the first time? That is awesome, man.
Yeah, dude.
That is.
We got to get you back on the show to listen to it, dude. Dude,
100%. That is dope. I know in the past you were able to find a loose copy of the actual book, but not like the package and the tape. That is. I'm gonna need to listen to that.
Absolutely. So then, you know what? The date for this comic book, it's a little bit difficult to pinpoint because the publishing house that created it has changed names multiple times over the years. And there's actually records on the CGC forums of members calling the publishing house, trying to get data on the month that this cassette read-along book was debuted, because right now the only thing that we have is online records of, you know, Amazon numbers and a few others that point to April being the date of release, early 1993. And these dates are important because Batman Adventures 12 came out in September. So the odds are that it came out earlier than Batman Adventures 12, but we don't have a hard date to look at. Unlike the next one on this list, because back in February 1993, a comic magazine called Comic Scene magazine came out. And what was on the inside, Arris?
Harley Quinn, of course.
Dude, debuting the animated series in this magazine, we have a full shot of Harley Quinn. And I don't think anyone at that time knew what they were publishing and how important it was to the DC universe and to DC fans across the world.
And it's really cool to think that, you know, this character that at the time, you know, people did like her from seeing her in the animated series, but I don't think she was as big as a character as she was now, right? So it's pretty crazy to think that a character like that, making all these appearances in these books and magazines here and there was inconsequential back then. And now, we're going back and be like, yeah, but no, this counts. You know what I mean? So it's really funny if you think of it that way.
This magazine that debuted in February, I think that takes the cake. Like, what are the odds that we're going to find something that came out in January, or that we would even be able to, verify that would come out in January to beat that year? So this magazine has to be the first published anything of Harley Quinn. And yeah, it's a magazine. It's not a comic book. So yeah, it's her first real appearance, but it's not her first appearance in something comic size. But we've already, when we're venturing into the magazine portion, we're abandoning the comic format as it pertains to whether or not it's key worthy. So since we're already doing that, let's go back just a few more months to 1992, because I thought we were done there, Arris. I thought we had found the last one. Do you remember? This happened over the course of a year. How many times did I contact you going, dude, I found another one?
Dude, it was pretty freaking crazy. You're like, I got another, and like, I'm like, how are you finding this though? Like, what dark places of the interweb are you going to finding all these publication dates?
Dude, I'm just like blindly buying some things, just searching, looking up like photocopies, Googling. Well, you know what? I found something back in 1992 that came out. It was a Batman animated series 3D board game. And
Yes.
I didn't think anything of it, but it came out in 92. And that would date everything. And then I saw what was inside.
You did see what was inside, and I have two, right? I have one opened and one sealed. Again, because of you, the hunt master, we're like, yo, Arris, I found this. Do you want this? I think you're gonna need this. So I'm gonna show you guys the one sealed. I have it right here to the side. Boom, right here, right there. And I don't know if you could see this. I'm sure you could show a picture if you can't zoom in on here, but you see Harley Quinn on the back right here. I don't know if that's in focus or not, but she's in this board game.
Yeah, it's like little cardboard cutout of Harley Quinn. And to think that they would have had to make that, at least half a year, if not more prior, they must have been thinking of her as just an extra character. Like, hey, we need one more slot to fill. This character has a cool design. We'll make her, a feature.
100%. It's kind of crazy how all this happened. Because again, I don't think a lot of people thought, to go down this rabbit hole that much and consider things like, board games, coloring books, magazines, and be like, well, since this is still, in published or printed, is this her first appearance? And it's, it's one of those things where like a lot of people might be like, no, Batman Adventures 12 still is. But then there's definitely a group of people who are gonna be like, no, this one is. You know what I mean? So there's gonna be that back and forth.
I want to know your thoughts, Comic Fam. What do you think about the real first appearance conversation? Clearly, Arris owns them all, and it's partially my fault, doing it. But you know what? I think it's fun, and I say it all the time. The Hellboy lenses, when they come on, I don't judge, because I buy a bunch of Hellboy memorabilia. I like the scarcity and the unique aspect of the collectible.
For sure, there's always those characters. I think that everyone has those characters that are really special to them for one reason or another. Harley Quinn is definitely top 3 for me, and because it brings me back to Batman the Animated, and that's where she was created and stuff. And it's just fun to kind of see where you can go with it. And you shocked me when you found all this stuff, because I'm like, I'm a massive Harley Quinn fan and TAS fan, and the fact that I didn't even think to go down a rabbit hole like that, like you did, I'm like, good on you, Tom.
I appreciate that, man. And I'm going to keep the hunt going. Maybe we can go back to 91.
Dude,
Find
you
some concept
imagine?
art. Comic Fam, we're not done talking about the DC animated universe. No, we have 10 more books to discuss. You know what, Arris? This is something that got me excited. Hearing that they are going to be bringing back a new issue to bring us back into this world that we all love. But we also know that there's a key moment coming. Is there not?
Yes, there is indeed. In the first issue of Batman The Adventures Continue, we actually get the first ever cameo appearance of Jason Todd in the DC animated universe. This is a really, really big deal, because back in the day, with Batman the Animated Series and the new Batman Adventures, in Batman the Animated Series, Dick Grayson was Robin, of course, right? But then when we had the new Batman Adventures and the series got redesigned for a new season and a new era, Dick Grayson became Nightwing, meaning we needed another Robin. But they gave us Tim Drake Robin, because at that time, Tim Drake was the current Robin, as well as Paul Dini and other creative leads for the show saying that Jason Todd was too violent of a character to put in a kid's cartoon series. So us comic book fans naturally would have thought the progression should have been, as it is in the comics, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake. But that wasn't the case. They skipped over Jason Todd for the reasons I just mentioned. But now, all these years later, they're bringing back this continuity with this new comic book series. They're like, you know what? We're going to bring Jason Todd back. We always wanted to. We just couldn't because of the networks and stuff like that. So for this continuation of this DC animated universe, we're going to give you Red Hood and Jason Todd, and he makes his first cameo appearance in issue 1 of Batman: The Adventures Continue.